Okay, hello everybody. We're going to start our first video with, this is a live lesson. I gave you a sheet on this for factoring a trinomial. So trinomial, we've got three terms, all right? We've got a squared term, a linear term, and a straight up number term, okay? So we're looking, first of all, in each case, I've got two examples here. And I want to illustrate this through examples because that's primarily the way you do it. I gave you that previous sheet before this that was looking at that whole thing, product and sum. You want two numbers. I give you a product and a sum, I want two numbers that multiplied give you the product and added give you the sum. Okay. So first of all, let's take this one. This is a specific example going from the general. And we want to look at the specific example and identify what is the coefficients of the squared term, the linear term, and the constant term. So the squared term, when I talk about the coefficients, what's the number in front multiplying it? This is where A, B, and C comes in. A is the letter that we reserve to stand for the coefficient of the squared term. And that is 1. There's nothing there. If there was 0, there wouldn't be a squared term. But since you don't see anything, we know that it's 1. And in this particular case we're talking about, these and the other ones that are in the exercise all deal with A equaling 1. The coefficient B, the coefficient of the linear term, is 7. And finally, the last term, the constant term, is 10. So when we talk about the product is always whatever. Let me get the blue one to show. Product is always the constant term at the end. Okay? It's always C. The sum is B. Always the value B. So in this case it's 7. Now, our two magic numbers we want, what two numbers multiplied will give you 10, added will give you 7? Well, let's look at the factors of 10. What are the factors of 10? 1, 2, 3 won't go in evenly into 10, 4 won't go into evenly into 10, 5, yes, 5 will work. And then 6, 7, 8, 9, they're not going to work. They won't divide into 10, but 1 will. Now you want to look at these four numbers, all these factors, and think, how can I get 7 out of that? So what stands out is the 2 and the 5. 2 multiplied by 5 will give me 10. 2 plus 5 will give me 7. I have found the two numbers. It's 2 and 5. These are the two numbers. Now what do I do with these? This means that over here in the factored form, you put x plus 2, x plus 5. Okay? We have the factored form, we have the expanded form. This is an algorithm. This means it's like a set of instructions. It's like a recipe, if you will. This is how we go about it. Why it works, how it works, what we're doing. If you don't understand it now, it's okay. Go learn the algorithm, try it, get it under your hands mechanically, and some other questions will be revealed later. But this is all we're doing. We want two bracketed expressions that multiplied, and I also went through using the FOIL method to expand these. We get right back to the original. We want two different forms of this. Why are we doing this? It's very handy. You're going to need it. You're going to need it in the next unit. Over here, let's look at example 2. Same thing. Sorry, I got all this stuff left over from constructing this whole live broadcasting studio. Okay, so A, what is A? It is going to be 1. B is the coefficient of the linear term. What's the coefficient of this negative x? Well, it's negative 1. Negative 1 is the number that multiplies by x. And then finally, the number left over is the constant term. That is negative 12. Okay, so we want, sorry, I meant to put that here. Okay, the product is always the number at the end. It's always C. So in this case, it's negative 12. The sum is always B, negative 1. Okay, so now we want the mystery numbers. What are the mystery numbers? The two numbers that multiplied will give you negative 12. Added will give you negative 1. When you start doing these, you want to do a few of them to absorb it, because one of the problems with math students is if you watch it and you say, oh, I got it. There will be students who will watch this and they say, yeah, I got it. And they just sit there and they don't write anything down. And you say, oh, okay, well, here's the homework. I want you to try these 10 questions. And then this student's think, I don't have to do those. I know it. I saw it. If you see it and you get it, trust me, it will stay with you for about a half an hour after class. That's it. The next day, if you get a quiz, that's when sometimes the student says, oh, sir, I just drew a blank. It's because you have to go home and you have to do 10 of these, at least 20. And then you've got it. You've got it. As an example from sports, if I showed you how to bounce a ball and dribble, and it's the first time you ever did it, are you ready to go in a game? Or even worse, are you ready to go into a game in a week from now and you're not going to practice? Do you think anybody's really going to want you on their team? No. They want you to go away and learn it. My son plays basketball. What did he do? He didn't just learn how to do it. He has to learn how to do it with his head up, not looking and moving. And then he wants to be able to do it and do all this fancy stuff and be able to deke people around. You got to get that way. You need practice. Okay. Too much talking. Not enough action. I'm going to erase this. I got it right in my hand. You've got all this. In fact, it's already in the video, so I'm going to do that. So I have room for my information here. This one's a little trickier, but not really tricky. You'll find this no problem after you do a few of them. Okay, so two numbers that multiplied give you negative 12. Added give you negative 1. Okay, well, let's look at the factors of 12. The factors of 12 are, in other words, the numbers that divide into it evenly. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 3 times 4, 2 times 6, 1 times 12. That's it. But this is a negative 12. So we're not only talking about the positive factors, we want the negative ones too. So negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 6, negative 12. Now you're looking at this like, oh my gosh, what an exhausting list. You really got to go through all that nonsense. Well, I'm only doing it like this at the beginning. Trust me, a lot of you, when you do the practice, you're going to go from here, skip all this stuff, right to there. Because I know what the numbers are. I know what they are. I have to multiply to get negative 12, add to get negative 1. Okay. Negative 1, that means these two numbers, they have to differ. And if they multiply to negative 12, you know one of them is going to be negative, the other is going to be positive. One is going to be from this list, the other is going to be from that list. And they have to differ by 1. What differs by 1? Well, the only ones that differ by 1 are 3 and 4. Because let's look at what you multiply 1 times 12. 2 times 6, 3 times 4. Those are 3 ways to get to 12. Okay, so the only one of those pairs that differ by 1 are 3 and 4. So that's why I'm going to cross these off the list. And I'll do this too. 3 and 4. Now, it has to be 3 times, it's either going to be 3 times negative 4 or negative 3 times 4. 3 times negative 4, that'll give me negative 12. Or I switch the negative sign. Negative 3 times 4. That'll also give me negative 12. All right. Well, what happens when you add them? If I add this, 3 plus negative 4, I get negative 1. That's the answer. Because if I do it the other way around, negative 3, only one of these two will work, plus 4. Negative 3 plus 4, that's positive 1. Won't work. The two magic numbers we want are 3 and negative 4. 3, negative 4. Okay, so where do I put them? In the brackets. X plus 3, x minus 4. Okay, so this is it. This is how you do it. Give it a try. You've probably tried those sheets that have to do with coming up with the pairs of products and sums. Okay. Now you're seeing this live. Maybe you want to take a look at this. Try those other questions in the sheet I gave. It's for factoring with a equals 0. See if you get it. See if the bing, it's one of those light bulb things. It'll come or it won't. If you don't get it, don't worry. We've got all this backup. This whole COVID schooling it's gonna be fine. It's all gonna be good. We're gonna get through it fine. But this is where your options come in. You're gonna have the sheets, and then I'm gonna have these lessons that I'm gonna put on YouTube. This is way more technology than I'm comfortable with. But I don't know. Maybe you can teach a raccoon to tap dance. I don't know. So where was I? Sheets, the lesson, and then if you get stuck, you make an appointment with me on Google Classroom. I'm going to go through it with you. You ask me the questions. I do it live on the board. You're going to get it. All of you. You're going to understand it. No problem. Do some practice. Okay? Don't work too hard. You're supposed to be doing 3 hours a week. 3 hours a week. I want you to remember this. I don't want to, don't worry about marks. Your marks you're guaranteed at least what you had on March 13th. And we'll give some quizzes. You know, if you want to raise it up, fine. Some of you don't have much room to raise it because you're pretty high already. I want to make sure you understand it because we want to get through this. And when we go on to grade 11, you're not going to have holes in your understanding and your skills. You're going to be able to do all this. Stay in, stay safe, and be relaxed. Okay? Don't get stressed out over this. There's enough stress over health conditions, over social distancing. It's a big change in all of our lives. But you know what? We're going to get through it. We found a way. You've got studio here. Some of you may be wondering why I'm calling this station Walter's Words. That's not my name, but I'll leave it up to you. Maybe I'll put in little hints here and there. See if you can figure it out before the end of the course. Some things are meant to be mysteries. Anyways, I'm signing off. Hope this works for you.